بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين بالقاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيت الأطهار الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر، ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر، تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام، سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. وطيب المخالقة والسبق إلى الفضيلة. Oh Allah, bless me to have pleasing alaykum salam, comportment and proceeding in reaching virtue and excellence. Another two beautiful segments from Dua Makarimul Akhlaq by our fourth Imam, Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. That's before we started, we make the intention, as we talked about the intention last night, and that we make the intention that inshallah from now onward, whatever we hear, not only we read it in dua, but we also make the intention. And gaining akhlaqiyat or moralities or makarimul akhlaq, as we have said and remind ourselves, is not going to be easy. But it is possible to do if we have the intention. When it comes to our mind and we keep thinking about it, we will have it one day. And we will elevate towards that highest level, one level at a time. But if we don't have it in our intention, and if we don't think about it, and if we don't work toward it, we're not going to gain it. All of us, depends on our age, we have and we had many different goals in our life, materialistic goals. And alhamdulillah, until now, many of it has been fulfilled and we have reached it. One day we were thinking, how can I buy that specific car? When we were young, and we thought about it, and we put in our intention, and we worked toward it, and we keep thinking about it, and one day we got it. Then we thought about that specific house that we had in our mind. Then again, it came to our intention, we thought about it, we worked toward it, and we kept thinking about it, and we put the effort, and we bought that house. And so on and so forth, within all of those materialistic belongings that we have. Moralities and akhlaqiyat, the same thing. We have to have it in our intention. Not that we just come here during the month of Ramadan, or we are hearing this lecture after Ramadan or during this Ramadan on YouTube, and afterward we make the intention, then we forget about it and we don't put reminder for ourselves, and that becomes the end of it. By end of Ramadan, end of our intention and end of our efforts toward it. No, it has to continue. These two segments of morality. Number one, pleasing comportment, pleasing morality, pleasing akhlaq. And preceding in reaching virtue, it's very, very, very important alongside all the other segments. We start with a beautiful, beautiful hadith by our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi. Let's have another loud salawat. By reading this hadith and discussing and hearing this hadith, we are in trouble. Some of us. And inshallah, none of us. It's a very beautiful, at the same time, very detailed. At the same time, it requires a lot of action from us after hearing it. If we don't know of this hadith, if we haven't heard this hadith until now, we are in good position because we can argue that, oh Allah, I didn't know of this hadith. But when we get to know of it, when we get to hear it, that puts us in trouble if we don't act upon it. قال رسول الله محمد صلى الله عليه وآله ثلاث من لم تكن فيه فليس مني. Rasulullah said there are three characteristics that if you don't have these three characteristics, you are not from me. وَلَا مِنَ اللَّهِ, and you are not from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very, very specific, very, very dangerous for those who don't put these three characteristics into their personality. So, three of them. وَمَا هُنَّ قَالَ, they ask him, what is it? What are those three characteristics that we have to have? He says, قال حلم يرد به جهل جاهل وحسن خلق يعيش به وورع يحجزه عن معاصي الله عز وجل. This hadith is in Kitab Wasa'il al-Shia. Number one, Rasulullah says the first characteristic that you must have, if not, you're not from me and you're not from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first, showing forbearance and self-control toward ignorance of an ignorant individual. Showing self-control. Showing forbearance. Hilm. It is very difficult. It is very, very, very difficult, but we do have role models that they have shown us that it is possible. We talk with someone, with an individual, about something that is very, very basic, and it's common sense. He or she is completely jahil about this concept, completely ignorant. One time we tell them, they don't understand it. 2 times we tell them, 3 times. It's something very basic, but they are ignorant. They are jahil. I tell you, it's really frustrating. That how can you miss something that is very, very basic? You should know it. It's a common sense. For us not to have self-control and forbearance, it's very easy. For us to get angry and to have rage. That you're supposed to know it, you don't know it, I told you once, I told you twice, I told you 3 times, and you still doing what you're supposed not to do, or not doing something that you're supposed to do. Forbearance and self-control toward the ignorant of an ignorant person. It's very difficult, but it's doable. Second, وَحُسْنُ خُلْقٍ يَعِيشُ بِهِ, living a life of pleasing comportment, good demeanor, and good morality. A life based on good akhlaq. وَحُسْنُ خُلْقٍ يَعِيشُ بِهِ. He lives his life based on husnul khulq, good morality, good demeanor. Does this apply to me? Do I have good akhlaq? And where should we start good akhlaq with? Again, our own home. Between a wife and husband, do I have good akhlaq? With my parents, with my community member. And Rasulullah says this is very clear. It doesn't need interpretation back and forth. Maybe Rasulullah meant this way. Maybe this is another translation of it. No. مَنْ لَمْ تَكُنْ فِيهِ فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. If you don't have these 3 characteristics, you're not from me and you're not from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Third, وَوَرَعٌ يَحْجُزُهُ عَنْ مَعَاصِ اللَّهِ. And piety that will prevent and hold him back from committing sin. It needs examination. My life needs to be examined. And as Aristotle said, a life without examination doesn't worth living. Not only he says it, our Ahlul Bayt also say that calculate yourself. حَاسِبُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ قَبْلَ أَن تُحَاسِبُوا. Calculate your own deeds. Let me right now that I'm saying sitting here and listening to these beautiful ahadith and the verses of Quran, let me analyze myself. No one else. Do I have forbearance and self-control when it comes and I'm facing an ignorant individual? Do I have good morality and my life is based on morality? Or if I go, it is interesting when I tell people, this of course people know me of morality and good akhlaq. I tell them the person that I'm going to ask is your wife and husband and your brother and your sister and your parents. That's how we can judge. That's how I should judge myself. I should not come and say, Alhamdulillah, between the people I have good morality and good akhlaq. What is my akhlaq at home? What is my akhlaq next to my siblings, next to my parents and spouse? And do I have that level of piety that when I am approached by sin, or I'm facing a sin, that piety is so strong that holds me back from committing the sin. That helps me to restrain from getting closer even to that sin. Or the next level, it's to even think of a sin. And following the footstep of Ma'soom, that if they don't even think about a sin. How much work it needs to be done? A lot. And the beauty of our faith is that when we make the intention that inshallah I want from this Ramadan learn, from this fasting learn, from this dua Makarimul Akhlaq learn, that inshallah after Ramadan, during Ramadan and after Ramadan until next Ramadan, if I was at the level of morality of, for example, from 100 I was at 10, I want to reach by next Ramadan 20, next Ramadan 30, next Ramadan 40. If I have that intention and if I work toward that intention, and I'll die before next Ramadan, you hear Sheikh Mustafa passed away, but he had the intention of applying the teachings of Makarimul Akhlaq on himself. He had the intention and he tried his best. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us, as we said last night, gives us based on what? Intention. But I have to have it in my mind that needs determination, and then me taking step by step, baby step toward that. And inshallah, one day, as hadith says from Ahlul Bayt, when you make intention for something, you will reach it, or will you reach something from it. We might not be able to get it complete, but we will get some of these virtues of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Another beautiful hadith by Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. That unfortunately Rasulullah, arguably, he's been oppressed within our communities. That we don't read of hadith of Rasulullah. We don't talk about the virtues of Rasulullah, what he left for us. They came to Rasulullah one day, a group of people, they came to Rasulullah and they communicating with him. They told him, فُلَانَةٌ تَصُومُ النَّهَارِ وَتَقُومُ اللَّيْلِ وَتَتَصَدَّقُ. They talked about an individual, a female individual. That we know of a female, a woman, that she تَصُومُ النَّهَارِ, she is fasting all day long, every day. تَصُومُ النَّهَارِ, meaning this is even beyond the month of Ramadan. Because Ramadan, you're not going to come and say, okay, my brother is fasting. Well, it is well known. It's not a surprise. They came to him and they told him, this woman, tasumun nahar, basically every day she is fasting beyond month of Ramadan. وَتَقُومُ اللَّيْلِ. We have to have bigger ears on the other side of the partition, and this side applies to both of us. وَتَقُومُ اللَّيْلِ. During the night, she's always worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qiyam. She's doing qiyam, salatul layl, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nawafil, one after one. وَتَتَصَدَّقْ. And she also pays charity. So she is disciplining her nafs with fasting, getting up during the night, and also paying the sadaqah. That, as we have said, there are thousands of hadith about the importance and the blessing of sadaqah. But there is a problem with her. وَتُؤْذِي جَارَهَا بِلِسَانِهَا. Alaykum as-salam. But she bothers her neighbor with her tongue. She prays all night long. She pays sadaqah. And she's fasting all days throughout the year. But she bothers she bothers her neighbor with her tongue. What do you think Rasulullah will say to this situation? قال لا خير فيها هي من أهل النار. There is no benefit for her. She is from the people of hellfire. Why? Those fastings is not going to benefit her. Those qiyamul layl doesn't benefit her. Those sadaqah doesn't benefit her. Why? Because she is bothering her neighbor with her tongue. Let us do all the prayers. Let us show our love to Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam as much as we can. But if we bother our neighbor, if we bother our community member, if I bother my wife or my husband with my tongue, that she or he or my community member, they are afraid of my tongue. We can give 1 month lecture about tongue and the sins that can be committed by tongue, that every day in the morning, our body parts, according to a hadith, our body parts communicate to one another. The tongue says to the rest of the body parts, how was your day? How did you guys start? This is the hadith. How did you start your day? All the body parts, they tell the tongue, if you let us, we'll be good. If not, we're not. The tongue. That let us, you can keep us safe, or you can put us in harm and danger. This small tongue. Words that we say that we don't think that these words have an effect on people. Toward good deeds or toward bad deeds. Encouraging and discouraging with one word. One word can change a person from right to left or from left to right. قال لا خير فيها هي من أهل النار. She's from the people of hellfire. قالوا وفلانة, and they're talking about another woman. وفلانة تصلي المكتوبة وتصوم شهر رمضان. And there's another female that she only prays what is wajib. تصلي المكتوبة. Basically she only prays what is wajib. And she only fasts the month of Ramadan. ولا تؤذي جارها. And she doesn't bother her neighbor. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله هي من أهل الجنة. She is from the people of heaven. Let's have another loud salawat. We don't have to do all night. It is mustahab for us to do. A lot of thawab and reward for it to wake up for Salatul Layl. But something that we have to keep remembering is not only about the neighbor. Imagine if you go to your neighbor that is non-Muslim and we have a discussion. You say, well, this is what I have learned about my religion, that even if you worship God all night long and you fast all day long, which Allah really loves the fasting, Allah loves paying charity, Allah loves for you to get up in the middle of the night and say, Al-Af, Al-Af, Al-Af. But because she was bothering her neighbor, she's from people of the hellfire, what they will think of our religion. But we have the Christian always come, look after your neighbor. Look after your neighbor. Akhlaq. Morality. We see and we read within the environment that we are in, within the Western culture, there are a lot of people that are well known that they talk about morality and ethics. But majority of time it has work ethics, family ethics. It has something to do. The difference between these people, the non-religious or non-Muslim theorists, when they talk about morality, there is something in it. It's only related to this world. Their scope is only related to this world. How can we have better morality at work so we can have more customer and more revenue? How can we have better morality so we have more people, so at the time of need they will help us in this dunya? Because for them, akhirah doesn't have any meaning. So the only concern, and when they talk about morality, it's all about this world. How can I live good living in this world? But as have we said, our faith, وعليكم السلام, ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة. That's the difference between our morality, the teachings of Ahlul Bayt relating to our morality, and the teaching of Western scholars about morality. They don't think about akhirah. I will be good to you as far as I think there will be some benefit from you toward me. When the time comes that I don't think there is a benefit for you to me, and I don't think that you are aiding my goal, you have to be cut. You can read it within all of these self-enhancement books, that one chapter talks about identify your goal, and if you see people are not helping you toward reaching that goal, those should be eliminated. And that goal is always materialistic. That goal always relates to this materialistic world and my belongings. But when we see within the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhum salam, they teach us and they advise us and they educate us that good akhlaq benefits you in this dunya and benefits you in akhirah. We already read one hadith that good akhlaq, if you have, just pray your salah, the normal salah, 17 rak'ah daily, and only once of Ramadan, and do the wajibat that you have to do, but make sure you don't bother your neighbor. You will be from people of Jannah. That's it. So morality, not only for dunya, for akhirah. But for them, it's only in this world. So let's look, what does good morality, good akhlaq do to you, do to us in this world? From a beautiful narration from our first Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. قال الإمام علي بن أبي طالب رب عزيز أذله خلقه وذليل أعزه خلقه. We want to always be honored. We want people to know of a person of dignity and honor and respect, to be aziz, don't we? Yes or no? Some people not. Yes or no? Yes. We want to be aziz, yes? What do? We want to be aziz, so not so. I know you guys want to be aziz. I don't know, or I might think that you guys don't want to become aziz. We all want to become aziz. Imam says, how many people we know that they had honor and dignity, but their khulq, their morality made them dhaleel, made them humiliated. And how many dhaleel we know that they were humiliated because of their akhlaq, they were honored and they were dignified. Akhlaq. So that's the blessing of akhlaq in this dunya. And when you go, there are many hadiths. Due to the short of time, I could not mention all of these hadiths. That husnul khulq increase our sustenance. People come to me, Shaykh, give us some kind of dua, some kind of ritual, something for me to do. Husnul khulq. Good akhlaq increases your sustenance. And rahmatullah alayhi, may Allah bless the ruh of Ayatollah said Muhammad Shirazi, he used to say, a person who has good akhlaq, at the end he will enter heaven. No matter what happens. If you have good akhlaq, at the end you will enter heaven. And the person who has bad akhlaq, at the end you will enter hellfire. No matter what you do. And that's what we can see from the word of Rasulullah. Even if you do wajibat, and even beyond wajibat, you do mustahabbat, but you have bad akhlaq, it won't help you, these mustahabbat and wajibat. So that's as far as it goes for this world. Let's look of akhirah, spirituality, ma'nawiyat, religiosity. A beautiful hadith again from Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. How many of us we want to have our iman to be completed and to have higher level? Anyone? We want. We want our iman to get complete. And also, how many of us we want our aql to get complete? All of us, this is what we work for, inshaAllah. جاء رجل إلى النبي, a person comes to Rasulullah. فقال يا رسول الله, he asked Rasulullah, أي الناس أكمل إيمانا, Which amongst the people have more complete iman? Their iman has become complete. Their iman is higher. They have better iman, complete. قَالَ أَحْسَنُهُمْ خُلْقًا. The one who has better morality. Better morality, better demeanor gives you complete in faith and iman. Complete iman equals best morality. Then when we can come to the conclusion, bad morality equals low iman. I want to increase my iman, morality. And then another person, another scenario to Imam al-Baqir and Imam al-Sadiq alayhim as-salam. Let's have salawat by their names. أكمل الناس عقلا أحسنهم خلقا. If I want to see, we all come to the society with having confidence in ourselves that I'm a rational person. Nobody's going to come, alaykum as-salam. Nobody's going to come and says I'm an irrational person, or my intellect is a little bit, the wires are back and forth. We have to. Nobody says that. Everybody has confidence in themselves that I am an intellectual human being. I have an intellect, and when we sit within a gathering, we'll say, according to me, means according to my aql, according to my intellect, according to my aql and knowledge, this thing is right thing to do. Imam says, if you want to know your aql is complete, what is the level of aql in you? Allah has given us this, the actual brain, the physical brain is there. No, how much aql we have, how much intelligence we have, from 0 to 100, bring this scale, put it next to your akhlaq. And see the scale of akhlaq, put two scales next to one another. See how much akhlaq you have based on the amount of akhlaq that you have, the morality that we're talking about, controlling rage, talking gently to people, lowering wing, being humble, and all the things that we have talked about. Look at the level of these moralities you have, put it next to aql. That's how much aql you have. If morality is high, aql is high, intellect is high, intelligence is high. If morality is low, intelligence, aql is low also. So every time that I become angry, that I raise my voice, or God forbid I curse, guess what has happened to my aql? Down. And every time that I control my anger, control my rage, at the time that I could have said something, I could have raised my voice, I become patient. Aql is going up to the roof. An ignorant person comes to me, I show forbearance, I show self-control. Aql goes high. I've been wronged, I forgive. Aql goes high. That's how we can scale our intelligence, our IQ. They bring us a test. You've seen all of these ads that comes to our email. Test your IQ. You do a couple of testing and you see your IQ. The test for IQ in us to see how much we have akhlaq. The higher, so that I can make an exam for myself. I can go through this segment of dua, Makarimul Akhlaq, and I go one by one. Do I have control of my anger? Yes. Check. Well, good akhlaq, good aql. Do I have forbearance towards ignorance people? Check. Well, that's increase in aql. And we go on and on and on. I can, at the end of dua, Makarimul Akhlaq, I can see how many of these characteristics I'm applying, and based on that, I will know my level of intelligence. Let's move on to the next segment. Oh Allah, وَسَبْقِ إِلَى الْفَضِيلَةِ. Oh Allah, bless me in proceeding, in reaching virtue and excellence. In this life, we are always, majority of us, if not all of us, we are preceding one another. We are competing with one another toward materialistic life. Better, I have a house, 3 bedrooms. The person, I have an apartment. I see my friend, they bought a house. We come home, wifey complain, nags, how can they have a house, we have an apartment. Okay, we put a little bit more pressure, we go and we buy a house. Good house. We go to another neighbor, another community member. Our house is 1,500 square footage, for example. We go and we see they have 2,500 square footage. So we are competing. We go and we buy bigger house, better car, bigger TV, better clothes, and so on and so on and so forth. That's what we compete. Within our materialistic life, we compete, and there is nothing wrong with it. It's not un-Islamic to compete within materialistic life if those competition holds you back in competing when it comes to ritual and virtues and spiritualities and religiosity. That becomes a problem. When we see materialistic life, we see people that are higher than us, and we try to compete. When it comes to religiosity, we look at people lower than us. Look, Sheikh, people, their salah is qada. Alhamdulillah, I pray my salah half an hour before qada. I'm much better than them. Why don't we switch the scenario? And in spirituality, look at the people that are higher than us. And instead of me, my prayer has been qada. There are people in America, in West, in this country that we are living, and they are within this train and this life cycle, but they pray Salatul Layl. Why don't we look at them? We say, oh Allah, bless us to go and proceed and compete with other people when it comes to virtues. So what is fadilah? That we have this virtue. What is this virtue that we have to compete one another into gaining it, into taking advantage of it? From Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. If we lower our volume a little bit, those people who are maybe getting to sleep, they can inshallah have a good nap before iftar. Let's have louder salawat. For hastening the appearance of the Imam, let's have another loud salawat. Beautiful narration. When Imam tells us compete and proceed in virtue, he doesn't leave us in the air. Okay, what is virtue? I don't know what is virtue. Imam tells us in a beautiful hadith. يقول, Imam says, إذ كان يوم القيامة جمع الله تبارك وتعالى الأولين والآخرين. On the day of judgment, Allah brings everybody from the beginning to the end. في صعيد واحد, in one platform. ثم ينادي مناد أين أهل الفضل. A munadi, someone who's making an announcement. Where are the people of virtue? We want to compete towards virtue. What are the virtues that we have to compete one another? I get to this virtue first, and then you try to get first, and back and forth we compete in these virtues. Imam says on the day of Qiyamah, an announcer comes and makes an announcement. Where are the people of virtue? قال فيقوم عنق من الناس. A group of people stand up and they're going toward heaven. فَتَلَقَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ فَيَقُولُونَ وَمَا كَانَ فَضْلُكُمْ. Angels come and says, okay, hold on. Checkpoint. Those who've been into Iraq, inshallah, we all get the blessing to go and visit the Shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, inshallah, this year and every year. Checkpoint, hold on. Where are you guys going? What are your virtues? Announcer called people of virtue. You guys got up. You guys going toward heaven. What were the virtues in this in dunya that you had, that you stood up and going to heaven? وَمَا كَانَ فَضْلُكُمْ فَيَقُولُونَ. What were your virtues? They would reply. These people of virtues. كُنَّا نَصِلُ مَنْ قَطَعْنَا. Number one. We have two family members, two brothers, parents and kids, two sisters, people. Unfortunately, something happened and they cut ties. They do qat' al-rahim, disconnect from their kin. They say, we proceeded in connecting with who disconnected with us. As soon as something happens, we become upset, we argue, we leave one another. Next day, let me be the one who proceed and calling him back. Even the fadl, even the right was toward me, I call him, I apologize. Whatever happened last night, supposed not to happen. That gives us one virtue. Proceeding. كُنَّا نَصِلُ مَنْ قَطَعَنَا. We would connect with the person who disconnect with us. Number one. وَنُعْطِي مَنْ حَرَمَنَا. I was in trouble financially. I went to a person. I asked him, can you help me with, for example, 1 month mortgage or my car payment, something, I need some help. Can you help me? He said no. He could have, he had, but he said no, for whatever reason. A year passed. He comes to me. He says, Sheikh, I have some problem. I'm in need for 1 month rent. What shaitan do to us? It's the time to pay back. Imam said the people of virtue, they proceed. وَنُعْطِي مَنْ حَرَمَنَا. He didn't give it to me when I need it. I gave it to him at the time of need. That's a virtue. Number 2. وَنَعْفُوا عَمَّنْ ظَلَمَنَا. And we forgive the person who oppressed us. Oppressed? Not that I get home, my wife has not cooked the food yet, it get late half an hour, we consider this to be dhulm. This is not dhulm. Dhulm, according to Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. We forgave them. قال فيقال لهم صدقتم ادخلوا الجنة. You're right, enter heaven. And another hadith, another 3 characteristics is in it. It's a little bit different. ما كان فضلكم. This is from Rasulullah. فيقولون كنا إذا ظلمنا غفرنا. Same as the third one. When we were oppressed, we forgave. وإذا أسيء إلينا عفونا. And somebody wronged us, we forgave. وإذا جهل علينا حلمنا. And if somebody is ignorant toward us, we showed forbearance and self-control. فيقال لهم ادخلوا الجنة بغير حساب. Enter heaven without any calculation. Your deeds, all of these folders that the right shoulder and the left shoulder is given, all of the sins that you have, you showed these 3 characteristics. You proceeded toward these 3 characteristics. No hisab for you. This is here, enter heaven without any hisab. Doesn't it worth in this life that we are going to live, another, for all of us that are sitting here, next 30, 40, 50, 70, 80 years, how much I have lived? I'm not going to say my age. Typically, you don't say your age. How much I have aged? I'm 33 years old. It's nothing to hide. Actually, 32. Sorry. I did add my word. Passed like this. I've been in the United States for past 17 years like this. Finished. Those who have been here 50, 60, 70, it finished very quickly. How many more years I'm going to live? Doesn't it worth it for that eternal life? When I get to Yawm al-Qiyamah, Day of Qiyamah, which everybody is afraid. Mom leaves their new baby born and they're trying to see how it's going to be our judgment. These people stand up. We had these virtues. They said, "Adkhulul Jannah." Enter. No calculation. It's worth it. That when we are being oppressed, we forgive. When we've been wronged, we let go of it. When we face people of ignorance, we show forbearance. We read in chapter 57, verse 21, سَابِقُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. Raise one another in hasting toward forgiveness from your Lord. How can we get forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? When we forgive people. Forgive people, Allah forgives you. Be tough on people, Allah will be tough on you also. Last hadith. And these are hadith that we just should sit and read and read and read. Beautiful hadith. When we finish it with Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. It's about taking advantage of opportunity when it comes. We've been wrong, it's the best time to take advantage of this scenario to forgive, to get 1+. We've been oppressed, it's an opportunity for us. Anything, any khair. من فتح له باب في الدعاء فتحت له أبواب الإجابة. In this dua, in this opportunity that I have, let me take advantage of it. We're doing dua, that Allah forgive me, give me the blessing. We have opportunity in front of us. Let's take it. If we don't, it goes. And the hadith says, the door of opportunity opens to you, take advantage of it. You don't know when it will be closed. I give this story and I finish. Last week, in birth of Imam Mahdi, we were raising funds for changing our carpet in our center. It's almost 10,000 square footage of carpet that we have to change. So I came and I told them, I have a good news and I have a bad news for you. They know me. When I stand behind a microphone, I have to raise fund for the center. I told them the good news is that we're raising fund. And we are opening the door of opportunity for you to pay for a cause that every time a person comes and prays on this carpet, you get the blessing. What a thawab. What other thawab you want than this? But the bad news is, we have put limited amount of money. That we need X amount of money. The door is opening. And Rasulullah says, when the door opens, take advantage of it. It closes. It's not going to be always there that I can donate, that I can forgive someone, that I can help someone, that I can show self-control to someone. No, it collects, it finishes. I told them, number one, number two, 3, 4, 5 people, alhamdulillah, we raised the fund. For those who came late, the opportunity is gone. So let us take advantage of this month. Allah has given us the opportunity and also has blessed me first to be able to read these dua and think about it. Let me take advantage of these opportunities. Let me take notes. Let me remember all of these action plans that have been given. And inshallah, we can apply it through and after month of Ramadan. Let's have a loud salawat. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. صلوات.